I'm sitting next to John Gordon, who's my producer and friend, and he's Jewish, and John goes, dude, I ain't Catholic, and I know that's wrong. So there was like a fucking learning curve, man. But it was awesome. It was awesome having her there. But you know what was really awesome about it? Just like the movie itself, kind of like pulls rugs out and doesn't play with, you know, it's constantly flaunts convention. Its whole reason is to flaunt convention from beginning to end. Even her in Red State kind of flaunts convention because my wife, while not being anti-gun, is about one of the biggest gun control freaks you'll ever meet on the planet. She's very, very like, guns need to be kept away from children, blah, blah, blah. Byron, her stepdad, lives with us, has lived with us ever since Harley was born, with Jen's mom and us. And he was a cop in Coral Springs for 25 years as sheriff. And he had a piece, of course, and she was like, once Harley was born, she's like, you guys want to live here, that piece has to go. Can't have a gun in the house and shit. When we were, Harley wasn't even 1 year old yet. Jen was celebrating, 1 month later would be her first birthday. We were in, it was May. Jennifer wanted to celebrate her first Mother's Day by going to Washington for the Million Mom March, which was about gun control as well and shit. So it's in her, she believes it in a big bad way. This movie has a shit ton of guns in it. So at one point I was telling her, I was just like, you're gonna be in this church, man, you're gonna have to fire guns. She was like, ugh, can't I just pretend or something like that? Can't you put in digital effects? I was like, when you got the money, you're actually gonna have to fire a gun and shit. It's like, all right. And I was like, yeah, we were on the set, and I was like, why don't you go off with Scotty Props? He's the props department, the guy head of the props department, so he does all the guns and shit like that. He's also in the movie, one of the believers as well. One of the dudes sitting to the left at the end, he's all fucked up, and the smoke bomb comes through and shit. Jed, his name was, in the movie. So anyway, I said, go with Scotty Props. We were up at, where we were shooting the exterior of the place, the exterior of the Cooper compound, and that place looks like this scalloped castle top and shit. I was in Agua Dulce. I said, go off with Scotty Props. We'll shoot this scene over here. You rehearse, practice with a gun, because I hear they have a lot of kick to them, and you're not familiar with them and shit, so you might as well go work on that. I'm gonna do this. We'll meet back here in the bus in a half an hour. She's like, I really don't want to fire a gun, Kevin. I was just like, just go train, it'll be fine. If you're in the movie, you have to do it. And she was like, okay. I go off, I go shoot, come back, she ain't there. I wait another half hour, she still don't show up. Half hour after that, she rolls up onto the bus, man, and her hair is all tasseled, and she walking kind of bow-legged like she got fucked. And she's just leaning in the doorway, smoking a cigarette. I was like, what's up? And she's like, I shot guns. And I was like, did you like it? She goes, too much. That's a lot of power. And I was like, yeah, so I guess why people like it. And so we go up to the rooftop to do this fucking sequence, man, where she's, you know, fucking firing from the rooftop of the crown, that sequence. And we shoot her at one point, which was awesome for me. Because it was weird, like that's one of my favorite parts of the movie. Not because like I'm killing my wife nightly, but there's that. It's just because the sound effect is so flat. It doesn't sound like, it's just like, and she's gone. And suddenly I've won every argument I've ever lost. So to shoot that sequence, man, she has to get shot and shit. And in stunts, you know, generally you'll use a hydraulic jack of some sorts where they put a harness on the actor or actress who's pretending to be shot, and they launch this air ramp thing, and that rope drags them back. The hydraulic can pulls them back, and that's what looks like a giant gunshot. You see it at work when we shoot the deputy. Boom, he goes flying. That was, we used a hydraulic jack. On the roof, we couldn't use that, an air ramp, because it was an older building. We couldn't bring shit up. It was a protected building and whatnot. So we had to do it the cheap way, which is essentially two stunt guys throw a rope around a tree, and the other end goes around Jen, and then somebody goes action, they just pull, and she goes flying and shit. So we had to do that, and it's you know, it's tough for anybody who's, even if you're an actor, it's tough to get the timing right of getting shot, dropping your gun, being jerked back and whatnot. There's a lot to contend with. We did it 5 or 6 times, and finally got one that was kind of okay, totally workable. I knew cutting wise I could make it work and shit. So I was like, that's it, man, we're good, let's check the gate. Because she's been falling back 6 times now on a pad and shit like that. And she was like, let me do one more. I was like, no, I got what I need, man, and better safe than sorry. You know, it's like, you haven't gotten hurt, this is cool, let's move on from here. And she was disappointed, but I was like, don't worry, man, I'll make it work. I said, but we need one more shot of you firing the gun so we can put the red dot on you and digitally remove it later on to look like you got shot right here. So we just need a few frames of you firing and then going like this, and I'll cut into the other angle where you're blown away. Yanked back, and she's like, okay. So she's sitting there without a harness on and shit, no pads on the open rooftop, because we're gonna see a bit of the roof behind her, and firing her gun. Very simple. Brrr, boom. That's all I need. Action. Brrr, boom. And she hurls herself backwards. That's what's in the movie, and I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, she disappeared from frame. I was watching on the monitor, and all of a sudden she was there, and she was gone. And all I hear is the stunt coordinator, Ben Jensen, go, Jen, you fucking idiot. Now, that's the director's wife. In order for him to say, Jen, you're a fucking idiot, he's either trying to get fired, or Jen was a fucking idiot. And she was, man, because when I got there, what I saw was what Ben was reacting to. Right beside her head, right here, is a pipe sticking out of the roof. And all she had to do was go over this much, and fucking boom, right into the brain stem. And I'm looking down at her, I was like, you fucking idiot, man. You almost fucking got killed. And all this time I'm like, you know, she'll be the first to tell you she's not an actress. She became an actress in that moment. She goes, was it good? And I was like, yeah, it was good. She's like, you're gonna use that one? I said, yeah, I'll use it. She was like, all right, stop bitching. And that was that. And she is, me and her, you know, we go to, I've said it on many podcasts and in the books a bunch, like we go to bed nightly watching one of two shows, our two favorite sitcoms on the planet. News Radio, which stars Stephen Root, and Roseanne, which stars John Goodman. Every night we go to sleep, we pop in one of those, and that's what we fall asleep to. We don't even have the TV on anymore, it's just the dialogue. You know, it's comfort food, kind of. Puts me to sleep in a good way. Not that it's boring, it's just fucking awesome. It's like, it's like being held by a parent. In a good way, you know, not one of them creepy ways.